Hi, I'm Dele Olawanle of Dele and Co. Solicitors. Contact us for advice and representation and advocacy in all areas of immigration law. We take your case from the onset until the conclusion of the case. We provide a one-stop service, and we provide advice and representation and advocacy.
Dele & Co. Solicitors. We're friendly, professional and cost-effective. A one-stop shop for immigration affairs, as we take your case from the onset and represent you in court if necessary. Located at 659 Green Lanes, Haringey, London, N80QY. We're only 4 minutes walk from the Turnpike Lane Tube Station on the Piccadilly line. Call 0208 880 9393. That's 0208 880 9393 for more information.
Dele and Co. Solicitors. Legal advice you can rely on.
Hello viewers, welcome to today's program on immigration matters. I am Cynthia Arthur. With me in the studio is Mr. Dele Olawanle of Dele & Co. Solicitors. Happy to see you here, sir.
Nice to see you. Your radiant look.
Thank you.
And legally dangerous. Yeah?
What is this program about?
Legal Panaroma is a program used to talk, explain difficult things about immigration, because one thing that is the biggest threat to immigrants living in the United Kingdom, if you have no status or you have limited status, or you have to regularize your stay, is knowing the rules, knowing the regulations, knowing the fees, know the application to make, know the route to follow. So it has been like that over the years, and this program has helped immensely to educate immigrants or in the United Kingdom and citizens alike on their rights, on their duties, on their obligations, what they can do, what they cannot do. I suppose that I was motivated to start Legal Panorama 15 years ago because of my experience, because you can't beat experience. I came into the UK, I was an immigrant, and I got married to my wife, who is a British citizen by birth here in the UK. I applied to the authority to allow me to stay, and they refused my application, and they asked me to be reporting. So I started signing at the police station for 8 years, and I was signing for the first 6 years 3 times a week. Yes, I used to go to the police station 3 times a week, and it was maybe in the 7th year that they changed it to once a week. Until they suddenly got an idea. After 7 years, they decided to detain me. On the day I was to be ordained as a deacon, imagine. People were waiting for me in the church. I went to the police station Sunday morning, and they caught me, and they took me to a police station. On the 4th day, they took me to Gatwick Airport to be deported. We did judicial review, and so they canceled the flight. They didn't release me. They took me to a detention center that was to be my home for 5 years. That was where the motivation and the inspiration to do this came, because I saw people from over 50 countries. They were there. Some couldn't speak English. Some didn't know why they were there. Some didn't know anything about immigration law. And some thought they had an application with their lawyers, not knowing that the application was refused 5-6 years ago without them being told. Some their cases were not done well. So I decided that at the time I was studying law, I was at the university studying law. I just made a promise to myself that if I'm released and given the right to stay in the UK, I will be educating people what they can do about their situation, what they cannot do. And I've been doing this for several years, and it's really become part of me. Also, I've been motivated to do it because of the amount of results that we have gotten over the years, not only just acting for people, but when maybe I'm on a flight, I'm traveling out of the country or traveling within the country, or I'm outside London, I drive to, sometimes I went to a market in Birmingham some years back, And I saw a lot of my clients and people who watched a program and did something about their situation. They all hugged me. They bought me a lot of fruit. Yeah. Yes, that was about 6 years ago. I have some for you, you know.
Oh, thank you
Some
very
fruit.
much. Very kind.
So it has been an interesting time, and I've really enjoyed it. So if you have the telephone number today, you may not need it. Save it. Dell Solicitors. You may need it tomorrow, or your friend may need it.
Save the number. It's not for you, it's for a friend, it's for a family. You never ever know.
Yes.
Coronavirus has disrupted a lot of things. How is your year shaping up, and how are you coping seeing that you also had an unpleasant experience with COVID-19?
Yes, I battled COVID-19. He almost killed me, but I'm healed now, totally
Right.
strong. Glory to God for that, you know. But the experience also has altered the way we do things
Yes.
significantly, in that we are now seeing clients virtually. So you don't have to come to the office to get consultation. We can see you where you are, right in your home, right at your office, right in your car. We can see you through Zoom and other means of communication. Life has changed and it's gotten better. So I can even sit at home before going to the office and have a meeting with you at 8 a.m. in the morning, 9 o'clock. And, you know, so it's very, very flexible. But also, we have learned that we have seen that we can work from home. We
Yes.
can do a lot of things. Clients don't have to come down unless they need to. You can scan your documents, you can send it by post. But if we need you to come down, you still need to come down.
Sure.
But that risk has been refused. So coming from Newcastle, I have a lot of clients in Newcastle, but this time around I made applications for them. They didn't need to come down. Just send the documents. We communicate. We talk. We have a chat. So to me, there's an improvement in the way we operate now. So COVID-19 is not a barrier to anything. Yeah.
So don't let it make it a barrier for you, because life still goes on and business is still ongoing. Does having a partner or British spouse guarantee leave to remain?
No. Um, for example, when it comes to articulate, it's a limited right.
Okay.
Articulate talks of the right to private and family life in the UK. But also, remember, the government has the right to control the influx of foreign nationals into her territory. That means the government can decide how you exercise your family life. So the fact that you met a British citizen or someone who is settled in the UK or has lived to remain does not mean you can live here. They
Okay.
decide that you can go. Love is blind, so you can go and join your spouse, go with your spouse to anywhere, unless you are able to prove that you face insurmountable obstacles to relocating abroad. So having a British spouse does not guarantee anything. Also, it guarantees something, because at least you know you are married. You are, yes, because life is not just about immigration. It's about family life. It's about fulfillment.
Brilliant.
So it's about being happy. So therefore, but what I'm trying to say is that you are hoping to rely on your spouse to settle in the UK. There's no guarantee that meeting a British spouse will guarantee staying in the UK. So therefore, get legal advice. With legal advice, you make your case better. They'll be able to will be able to advise you. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do to address the issue of insurmountable obstacles. Because when someone makes an application, what they are saying, they will be saying is that, look, you have to prove to us that there are obstacles to your going back to your country with your spouse, whether a man or a woman, to go and live there with them. You have to prove it, and then that's a matter of law.
Okay.
You can't just say, "Oh, I have," and just say they won't rely on your say so. So what I'm trying to say is that get legal advice, proper legal advice on that. But uh, getting a British citizen is simply not going to be enough unless you present your case very well.
Right, the message here is get legal advice. You can contact Dele and Co solicitors on the telephone numbers showing on the screen. As you rightly said, now they're doing consultation in different forms via Zoom and via Microsoft Teams. Virtual meetings are happening, so there is nothing stopping you from seeking that legal advice that you crucially do need.
You even put it better than me. Say that again. Yes. I think this girl was born here. I was born abroad.
What is the 7-year policy on children?
7-year policy is within the immigration rule. And now what it says is that if a child was born in the UK or the child was born abroad and brought here, and the child has lived there for 7 years, and they stay under 18, you can make an application as parents to rely on the child to stay in the United Kingdom, as the child cannot look after himself or herself. Now, the purpose of this is to say that when children get to the age of 7, at least they are aware of the environment, they've gotten used to the environment, and that they will not seek to remove them unless it is reasonable to do so. Now, there is no definition of reasonableness, but then it will be for you to make a case for reasonableness, for your case to be argued. When the application is being completed, when the application is being made with a supporting legal representation to say why it will not be reasonable to expect you to leave the United Kingdom with your child who has lived there all his life, because you discover that a child may have been brought into the UK at the age of 6, and then the child has spent 7 years, is now 13. The child will have mixed with the community, integrated himself or herself to the community. So cases like that, we argue that it will not be reasonable. And whether the child has just turned 7, we still argue that it's not reasonable, because reasonableness has no definition. We give it our own definition. So it's an interesting area of law. I love it a lot. I simply love it. Yes.
Right. Every case on its merit.
Yes.
That's what we're looking at. Is it automatic that once a child is 7 years old or 7 years in the country, they will be granted status?
No. It is not guaranteed at all. I have seen a lot of people make this mistake every now and then, saying, "Oh, my child turned 7," and they just put some documents together, and they send it in, pay 4, 5,000, 6,000 pounds for an application fee, and before you know it, it is back to sender. They refuse the application and they are back to square one, because it is not also automatic. So as I said, explained earlier, the case has to be prepared very well. A case has to be made for why it is not reasonable to refuse the application, to try to remove the child or the family from the United Kingdom. But what some people try to do is they try to avoid paying legal fee and things like that. They want to do it yourself, but DIY is very, very dangerous. So there is a reason why you have the professionals, the medical doctors, the accountants, the IT gurus, and then you have the lawyers. All we do is argue, make a case, present a case in a way that is winnable, that even if you don't win at the Home Office, with the Home Office, you can win in court or in the higher court or to the Supreme Court. So what I'm trying to say is that it is not automatic. Get a lawyer to help you to make the application and make a case for reasonableness, and also so that if it is refused, you will have a better chance of winning the appeal, or chances of winning the appeal. So just be aware of that it is not automatic. So don't say, my child is 7, I don't need a lawyer. You may discover that you are throwing your chances away.
Right. DIY doesn't work in law. That's the message here. So
Yes.
do not do it yourself. Get an expert to actually guide you through the process. What type of decisions have you been getting from the Home Office on this 7-year policy?
It has been good. If you have been doing something for a while, you will be able to develop an expertise in that particular area. And when you compare decisions that have been made, in most cases, they are standard decisions. They just cut and paste and put it there. So we can see whether they consider the case properly, whether they look at the facts. So what we try to do is to find errors, the loopholes in their decisions, and whether all the documents that were presented to them were checked, were looked after. Because in most cases, in some cases, you look at the decision and you find that the caseworker didn't even look at the documents and was actually using another person's case to decide. It's like you are deciding the case of someone from Ivory Coast, and you are referring to someone from Ghana. So you know that it's obvious. And not only do they mention it once, twice, they mention it in 2 or 3 places.
Okay.
So you know that these people, the case was not considered properly. So then all these are taken care of when applications are being made, when an appeal is being made, and we've been very successful. I would say I've been very, very happy of the decisions we have been getting in recent years.
Because a lot of work has been going into it.
Yes, yes.
You're watching Legal Panorama. I'm Cynthia Arthur, and I've got Mr. Dele Olawanle of Dele and Co. Solicitors with us here today to enlighten us on immigration issues. What would you say to people who are watching, who are thinking of regularizing their status and are afraid to do so?
Fear it, but do it. Um, Most of the people having immigration issues are from the ethnic minority groups, mostly black people, and yes, and some people from other parts of the world, um, or Asians. Now, the thing is that if you are there and you are afraid, so what happens if you are caught by the police? Or they just uh, busted your house? They are looking for someone else who used to live in the house, who had immigration issues, and decided to change the accommodation, and you moved in. What if they encounter you? What are you going to do? So fear means nothing if you are caught by the authority, because they will say overstaying is a criminal offense. And if you overstay and you are walking, it's criminal offenses. So therefore, at your earliest opportunity, do everything to regularize your stay. I would say fear it, but do it. Get legal advice. What can you do? And then try. You may succeed. If you don't succeed, it's not the end of the road. You can try again. So what I'm trying to say is that just being afraid is not good enough reason not to make an application. Because if you are arrested before you then try to make a human rights claim, they will certify your claim as unfounded, that if they had not caught you, you wouldn't have made any application. So what I'm trying to say is that fear is a form of bondage, and get out of it. Especially you people living outside London, you guys living outside London, a lot of you are afraid and you don't know who to talk to. You can talk to us. We are here. To advise you, get legal advice first. We want to know what you have. I remember there was a lady that was married to a British citizen and said that she doesn't want to have a child yet until she gets her status. And I said to her, you are not going to get your status until you start a family. She said, really? Oh my God. I've been living with him for 5 years. I've aborted 2 pregnancies. I said, you have gotten your paper status the first time you did abortion. And abortion is bad. You've killed 2 people. I said, she laughed and said, and it's not funny. But what I'm trying to say, ignorance is very dangerous. Now, she became pregnant again and had a child. Before you know it, we made the application. They gave her status, and she She was really hurting in the fact that she did not know. So what I'm trying to say, some of you are saying you don't want to start a family until you get your status, but you may not get status until you have a child, because families with children, they give them preferences. They are priority because, the British people, English people, they love children. They take care of them. So the best interest of the child matters to them. So, uh, so if you're afraid, you are just afraid for nothing. It doesn't change your situation. You continue to become afraid, and it can even raise blood pressure. Isn't that what the medical people say? Yeah.
Do not let fear cripple you. Don't be
Yes.
in the bondage of fear.
Yes.
Contact Dele & Co solicitors. There's a consultation fee to be paid once you make contact with them, and they're more than happy to walk you through that journey to make sure there is a great success out of it. What is the importance of seeking legal advice?
Oh, it's sine qua non, second to none. You have to, when you get um, legal advice, is like a sat nav. If you don't get the wrong one, that will take you. You are going to London and will take you to Wales. You should get a proper sat nav. You will get into your car from here, and you get to Newcastle, Manchester, or Norwich. Just having not been there before, it guides you. Now, the same thing with legal advice is the compass that makes everything to work for you. You get legal advice to know your case. What can you do? What are the, have you had, then we'll be able to dig into your past. Do you have a criminal record? Have you made a previous application? What was the decision? Are you married? Are you sick? Do you have a health condition? Are you working? Have you ever worked? If you understand, where do you live? Who do you have in the UK? We ask all these questions. We come to documents. What sort of documents do you have? We tell you how much it's going to cost, the chances of the application. Everything will be told, will be revealed to you. You'll be advised on that. You'll be told how much it's going to cost and what you need to do. When you do that, you become, empowered. Knowledge is power. So once you know what you can do, then you can go out and do it. If you need to get money, then you can start saving. If you need to borrow money, you go and borrow money, because you know you are doing something. You are planning. Even if you are not making the application this year, you can make it next year once you know what you have to do. If there's going to be changes to the advice given, it's not going to be much. But if you don't get legal advice, you just go to somebody and they say, well, it's going to cost you £4,000, and you just throw that money away because you didn't get that advice. Because when they start advising you, when you are given an advice, you also will be able to rationally and reasonably decide that no, you don't want to make this application now, or you are not clear with the legal advice given. So then you can go to another place and get a proper legal advice. Getting legal advice is very important. And if you call our office, you will pay a consultation fee for us to advise you, and you have to pay it. Even if you are my daughter, it doesn't make any difference. Yeah.
Right, you need to seek legal advice. If you are not informed, you will be deformed. So
Yes.
you get all the information that you need so that you get the expert in the field to help you. How can your firm assist people on their immigrational matters?
They should just contact the office, book an appointment, or you can send us an email, and then we will get back to you. Then we'll be able to assist you. Uh, because of the pandemic and the coronavirus season, I believe from now till December 2020, that is how we are going to be operating, like like lightning. So we can give you legal advice through Skype, through Zoom. You can visit our office. Then we can do all things, whether it's making an application, whether it's appealing the decision, whether it's doing judicial review, whether it's doing a bail application. We are there. As I said, we do all things up to the highest court in the land. And the benefit you have is that If your case goes to court, in most cases, I argue those cases. Hugely experienced, and we are here to serve.
Wow, their doors are open 24/7, so you can contact them via telephone on the numbers showing on the screen. You can also contact them on all social media platforms, i.e. Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. Give Dele & Co. solicitors a call, and they're more than happy to help you with all situations in which you're in. And the platforms are really quite open at the moment, i.e. they can do Zoom, they can do Skype, Microsoft Teams. All virtual meetings are possible, so there's no need for you to come in on one-to-one in person. If you can do that as well, that would really help. But their doors are open 24/7, and they are available and ready to serve you. So thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dele Olawanle of Dele & Co. Solicitors. Contact us for advice and representation and advocacy in all areas of immigration law. We take your case from the onset until the conclusion of the case. We provide a one-stop service, and we provide advice and representation and advocacy.
Dele & Co. Solicitors. We're friendly, professional and cost effective. A one-stop shop for immigration affairs as we take your case from the onset and represent you in court if necessary. Located at 659 Green Lanes, Haringey, London, N80QY. We're only 4 minutes walk from the Turnpike Lane tube station on the Piccadilly line. Call 0208 880 9393. That's 0208 880 9393 for more information.
Dele & Co. Solicitors. Legal advice you can rely on.